Hey guys, it's Alicia. Today I am going to be making a skinny baked broccoli mac and cheese. Now I have been feeling a little under the weather, so I was craving a little comfort food and I wanted to do kind of a lightened version of that. And this is exactly that. It is delicious and hits the spot when it comes to comfort food, but doesn't have all the calories. So I will show you real quick what you're going to need for this. First off, you're going to need 12 ounces of wheat macaroni. You're then going to need a 1/4 cup seasoned breadcrumbs, 1/4 cup flour, 1½ teaspoons butter, an 1/8 cup parmesan, 8 ounces or about 2 cups of a low-fat cheese. I like to use the Weight Watcher kind. Then in here I have a small onion chopped. I like a lot of onions. I know a lot of people don't, so you definitely don't have to use that much onion. You can use more like a half or a 1/4 of a small onion if you want. And then here I've got a 16-ounce bag of frozen broccoli florets. You can absolutely use fresh. I think fresh is probably even better, but I don't have fresh, so I'm going to be using frozen. Back here is a cup of chicken broth, 2 cups of skim milk, a little Dijon mustard, some minced garlic, salt, and pepper to taste. And that is all you're going to need to make this. First thing you're going to want to do is get your oven preheating to 375. And then here I have a large pot of water that I'm bringing to a boil. And then over here I've got a large saucepan. And I'm going to heat my butter in it on low. While that butter is melting, my water is boiling, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in my macaroni. And then I'm also going to add in my broccoli. And I'm gonna just let this cook until my pasta is al dente. Okay, now that my butter is melted, I'm gonna go ahead and put in my onions. And I'm gonna just let these cook for a couple of minutes or so in here. And now I'm gonna add in probably about a teaspoon, maybe a little more, of garlic. And I'm gonna just kind of let that cook for about a minute. I've let that garlic cook in there for about a minute. Now I'm gonna add in my flour. And I'm gonna just cook this for another minute or so until this flour starts to kind of brown a little bit. Okay, I've let that cook about a minute, maybe a little more. And now I'm gonna add in my chicken broth. And you wanna be stirring this real well as you're doing this. And my milk. And I'm gonna just keep stirring this real well. And then I'm going to turn up my heat from low to medium high. And you want to keep stirring this while you bring it to a boil. This has come to a boil, so now I'm going to just continue to whisk it for probably about 5 minutes or so. Basically until this mixture starts to thicken. And you want to be stirring it continuously so that you don't burn it or form any lumps. And my pasta is al dente, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this, drain it, and set it aside. I have let this cook on medium-high heat for just about 5 minutes, and it is looking nice and thickened up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the heat, and I'm gonna take it completely off the heat, and then I will be back. I have removed this sauce from the heat, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add in my cheddar cheese. And I'm gonna give that a good mix till all that cheese is nice and melted in there. And when you're working with lower fat cheeses, they do kind of weird stuff like this. They're a little stretchy, but that's totally fine. And now I'm gonna add in probably 1 teaspoon of the Dijon mustard. I'm gonna mix that in real well. And if you don't like mustard, you could omit that. I just think it adds a really nice flavor to this. Now I'm gonna add a little pepper and salt to taste. And we don't use a lot of salt, so I'm just gonna put just a very minimal amount in there. And I'm gonna stir that up. Now I'm gonna add in my broccoli and macaroni. And get that all stirred in well. Okay, I've got this all stirred up. Now I'm going to take a 9x9 greased, and I just used a fat-free cooking spray, pan here. And I'm going to just pour this in and then I will be back. I've got this in my pan. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my breadcrumbs and I'm gonna kind of just sprinkle these along the top as evenly as I can. And I'm gonna take my Parmesan and do the same. All right, now I'm gonna take this and I'm going to bake it in my preheated oven for just about 15 to 20 minutes until it starts to get kind of golden brown. Okay, I have baked this for about 20 minutes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the broiler and just broil it for a couple minutes to get that a little more browned. I let this broil probably just like a minute, 2 at the most. And I probably could have let it go a little bit longer to get a little more browning going on there, but I tend to over broil when I broil, so I just did a little bit. But it is looking good. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit and then I will be back to show you what it looks like inside. And here I have some plated up. Now this makes about 8 servings at a cup a serving, and each serving comes in at 8 points plus or 9 smart points, which I think is great for what you're getting here because this stuff is creamy, cheesy goodness that really hits the spot when you're craving that classic comfort food of macaroni and cheese, kind of like I am today. Not only does it hit the spot, but it is a great way to sneak in some veggies for your kids. They won't even notice that broccoli is there. This recipe is not only delicious, it is really easy and quick to make. So it is definitely one of my go-tos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.